When the thin threads of a family begin to unravel, all it takes is one small spark to set off a raging emotional firestorm. And that's what begins when tensions within the Brown family come to a head at last. What begins as a relatively minor confrontation soon begins to unravel decades of bottled up resentment, favoritism, and heartache. But this isn't merely any family argument, this is the turning point. It starts with a quiet remark, purportedly from Kody Brown, about one of Robyn's kids. A comment that, though spoken in hushed tones, is soon shared with the rest of the family. Most, including Mary, take it to be very offending and judgmental. What was said? Not as much as what it symbolizes, a history of favoritism that goes way back and hurt that never healed. The remark goes viral. Robyn is offended, Kody gets defensive, and the rest of the family gets caught in the whirlwind, torn between loyalty and truth and years of pent-up frustration. Mary has sat on the sidelines for years, too often invisible, too rarely heard. But no more. With years of silence behind her, Mary speaks up. Her voice is calm but laced with fury. She calls out not just the offensive remark, but Kody's repeated favoritism toward Robyn and her children. "You've ignored the rest of us for too long," she says, holding nothing back. "We stopped existing the moment Robyn came into your life." And that's when the floodgates open. Janelle and Christine, both of whom have been seething with their own resentments, join the conversation. Janelle needs to know, why have Robyn's kids always gotten more time, more money, more love? Christine remembers times when she was left behind, on her own to scrap and fight, as Kody invested everything in one quadrant of the family. Kody attempts to defend himself. He maintains that he's done the best he can, that he's always tried to be fair. But with the examples piling up, obvious cases of unfair treatment, his arguments fall apart. The room is no longer simply filled with anger, it's full of truth. Later, in a devastating instant, Robyn's daughter, Masaur, sits quietly, tears running down her face. "Why do you all hate me?" she whispers. "We didn't ask for any of this." But Mary does not waver. She looks at Masaur, speaking firmly and calmly. "This isn't about hate," she explains. "It's about honesty, and it's time the truth came out." Just as the dust appears to settle, another shockwave rolls through. Behind the scenes, TLC executives, already privy to increasing fan outrage against Kody, learn of the confrontation. In a private conference, producers meet with him. "There are repercussions to your actions," one of them says. "This isn't about your family anymore. This is about the integrity of the show." Kody is shocked when they tell him he's being taken out of production for now. "You can't tell my story without me," he complains. But the producers refuse. The wives will be in the spotlight from now on, and they don't hesitate to get into that limelight. Back home, Mary acts. She brings out notebooks, texts, years of secret documentation, proof of how control, influence, and favoritism altered the family dynamic with the passage of time. She shows it all to Christine and Janelle during an intense emotional moment. "At first, I didn't want to believe it," Mary confesses. "But it's all right here. Kody let this happen." Janelle and Christine are shocked. The reality cannot be denied. Christine breathes softly. This changes everything, and it does, because what follows will shape the future of the entire family. Without Kody at the forefront, the system that kept the Brown family unit intact starts to disintegrate. Now that the reality sets in, that their family was constructed on fraud and manipulation, everything becomes undone. Dynamics that had appeared impervious crumble. New relationships take their place. For the first time, the wives are no longer competitors, but actually look at each other's scars of emotional neglect and control as shared. Mary, Janelle, and Christine come together not as estranged partners, but as women reclaiming their voices. Shared trauma becomes a bridge and not a barrier. Together, they begin to redefine what family truly means on their own terms. However, while the wives are stepping into the limelight, Cody and Robyn fight desperately to keep the narrative from slipping away. They scramble for containment, but the truth has already started to crumble the facade they spent years building. And while it seems nothing more can take down the Brown family, TLC is releasing a preview of what's coming next. Never-before-seen footage, explosive confrontations, tearful confessions. The network is leaning in, and audiences won't be able to look away. As the family heads into their most intense chapter yet, one question haunts them. Can the Browns survive this reckoning, or is this the absolute end of sister wives as we've ever known it? This has been the season for families to slowly unravel. The other wives, like Mary, Janelle and Christine, seek freedom and self-discovery, while leaving Robyn and Cody as the last couple standing. Even that union, however, cracks wide open. The original wives can finally look back now and admit that although polygamy might not always be a total nightmare, they have many regrets. All eyes turn to Robyn. For many viewers, she represents the turning point, the moment the family started falling apart. But is she really the cause of failure in the other marriages? On Reddit, a fan went back to a clip from a recent season where the wives talked about their exits. Robyn looks devastated, admitting, "Christine leaving put me in a very dark place." Janelle just sits there, contemplative but obviously weighed down. On camera, she makes an explosive revelation. "Cody spent years trying to get me to believe Christine was a bad sister wife, and he always used stories Robyn told him." The deduction. Robyn wasn't a passive bystander. She might even have actively helped drive a wedge between the wives. Even Robyn, however, in one of the few times she has ever been truthful, will admit that sharing her frustrations with Cody only tended to backfire. "I learned the hard way," she says, "that discussing my issues with the other wives with Cody only hurt our relationship." The internet remains divided. Some fans are certain Robyn was the catalyst for the family's breakdown. Others aren't so sure. Maybe the problems were already there, Robyn just brought them to the surface. Meanwhile, Janelle's focus has shifted from emotional to financial survival. Since parting ways with Cody, she's been consumed with uncertainty about the future, especially when it comes to Coyote Pass. The land that was supposed to symbolize a fresh start for the Browns has instead become a battleground, and Janelle is done staying silent. She knows the stakes. She's invested time, energy, and money into that property, and now she fears she may walk away with nothing. As the family's long-time bookkeeper, Janelle oversaw a household's finances that at one time consisted of 4 wives and 18 children. She worked tirelessly, contributed regularly, and believed Cody would take care of the rest of it in an equitable manner. Now? She's not so sure. Janelle asserts she kept every dollar that was spent, but she never had access to the money itself. That remained solely in Cody's hands, and more recently, in Robyn's. And that revelation might be the most damning of all. In the Browns universe, control had always been centered around one person, Cody Brown. For years, he was the unofficial head of the family, not only emotionally, but financially as well. All major financial decisions used to pass through him. But somewhere down the line, things took a different turn. Cody began making decisions without consulting anyone and started issuing directives unilaterally. And now, that control is coming undone. He's even admitted to taking big sums out of joint family accounts, cash that wasn't solely his, but everyone's wives and kids. It's little surprise Mary and Janelle don't trust him anymore. With the future of Coyote Pass in jeopardy, they worry they'll leave empty-handed after all their years of input. Janelle, in particular, is disillusioned. Once optimistic and industrious, she's now questioning everything. In a previous episode, her on-air fight with Cody showed just how little she really had. Through her tireless work ethic, working a career, bringing home the bacon, and contributing to keeping things afloat, She feels she's been left with practically nothing. That, Janelle claims, is the betrayal contained in spiritual polygamy. There are safeguards in legal unions. In spiritual ones, those safeguards tend to disappear. Robyn, Cody's legal wife, has explicit legal rights to their property, but the other wives, they're in a vulnerable spot, particularly financially. It's one of the sad realities that is hardly ever discussed. A woman can give years of her life, bear children, establish a home, and still walk away with nothing. And it's not even about the money. Janelle has explained how bad she suffered, how desperate things got. But Kody dismissed what she said, asserting she had the same as all the rest. But the figures and the lifestyle disparity say otherwise. Robyn and Kody reside in a lavish house. They even recently put their Flagstaff home up for sale for $1.65 million. Janelle, on the other hand, has never even had anything remotely similar. The gap is clear, and the jealousy is genuine. Mary, too, has lost trust. She feels that trust between family members has nearly disappeared, and accuses Kody of selling family assets without complete honesty. The handwriting is on the wall. Robyn has always been first priority for Kody, and the rest, never his dream partners. It's tragic, but not irreparable. Consider Christine Brown. Well before she married David Woolley, she began to rebuild her life after she left her spiritual marriage to Kody, and today she's happy, at peace, with a purpose. Christine demonstrates there is life after the Browns. But for Janelle, it has been more difficult. Even with her beauty and strength, she's experienced loss beyond imagination. The passing of her son Garrison broke her. He was not just her son, he was her soul. He had a kind heart, rescuing a cat named Buttons from a kill shelter and nursing it back to health. And yet, Janelle perseveres. But no woman, particularly one who's sacrificed so much, should have to contend with economic survival after all she's been through. If Kody has any left, this is where he needs to demonstrate it. It's time for truth, for honesty, and most importantly, for accountability. Janelle doesn't owe an apology, she owes the truth. Because for all his bluster about being the protector of the family, Kody too frequently appears lost in his own little world, a man sure of his rightness, even as 3 wives and numerous children leave him behind. This is not about a busted marriage. It's about a man who doesn't even see the people around him anymore. And the question that viewers find themselves pondering is easy. Will Kody wake up at last before it's too late? Kody Brown's most steadfast characteristic? Blame deflecting. When all falls apart, it's never his fault, at least not in his book. Over and over, he portrays his previous wives as demanding, unreasonable, or even parentally alienated. It's an old defense tactic. Deflect blame so you never have to look at yourself. And yet, we all somehow know he's not alone in enduring trials, because both he and Janelle lost a son. With sorrow hanging thick in the air, battles over Coyote Pass seem more and more senseless. What began as a dream has become a symbol of all things broken. Brawling over land when their hearts are in pieces seems like a power struggle no one wants to win. But Janelle doesn't strike back. She doesn't have to. Her power lies in her quietness and in surviving. After having endured such unimaginable loss, Janelle stands. She didn't break. She didn't explode. She kept her head up, even while the force of losing all that she had ever known almost shattered her. In the meantime, Kody is stuck in suspicion. He won't believe his old wives, extending the Coyote Pass decision and keeping everyone emotionally and financially held hostage. But come on, the property isn't just real estate anymore. It's a shrine to what they've lost. Janelle is not waiting any longer. She's putting her strength into something new, her own company, Tea Farms. Her flower business is growing, and so is she. No longer identity to her relationship with Kody, Janelle is finally finding herself. And the fans, they're loving it. After everything she's endured, Assisting Janelle to rise isn't assistance, it's justice. Because if Kody won't offer her what she's due, the world can. What's infuriating is that Kody knows better. And Robyn, she's not doing her part. Her latest faux pas? Describing herself, Kody, and their kids as the core family. The message was deafening and crystal clear, and excruciatingly divisive. Whether or not she intended to offend the other wives and children, that sentence formally, painfully drew a boundary between us and them. It wasn't a label, it was a division. And for Mary, Janelle, and Christine, who have already suffered years of inequality, it was another slap in the face. Robyn has done this in the past. She positions herself as misunderstood, never owning up fully to the harm done by what she's said. But that core family moniker caused actual harm. It highlighted what so many have sensed for years, that there's an inside group and they're no longer part of it. As tensions surrounding Coyote Pass escalate to all-time highs, Janelle is said to be contemplating legal action. She's not one to mess around. She desires what is right for herself and for her kids, who are just as much a part of this family as everyone else. Because let's not forget, Kody is a dad to more than Robyn's kids, and they should never be made to feel like strangers in their own family. When Robyn employed the word core family, it was worse than a bad choice of words. It was a reflection of the larger issue, division, favoritism, and a more and more broken dynamic. Even Mary, typically the most subdued, has cried out. "Nobody in this family trusts anybody," she stated, and it's difficult to disagree with her, because when somebody circles themselves and claims this is the center, what they are actually doing is pushing everybody else beyond it. And that, more than anything, is what's destroying this family. Robyn Brown can refer to it as a core family, but come on, that's a loaded term. It's more than just an innocent expression, it's a dividing line, one which has left Mary, Janelle, and their kids feeling more excluded than ever. As the fight for Coyote Pass grows, Robyn and Kody act less like good parents but more like royalty protecting their kingdom. They're in control, they act as though the land's future is only theirs, and they leave the others, Mary, Janelle, and Christine, hanging in the balance. And that's the actual problem. This isn't about land, it's about being fair, about having dignity, about being listened to. While Robyn and Kody are nicely ensconced in their monogamous daydream, complete with mansions and emotional barriers, the ex-wives are left wondering if they'll get a peek at anything from the estate they worked so hard to build. The optics? Somewhat rancid? The tension? As wine made from grapes nurtured in bitterness. Robyn isn't necessarily the villain that fans make her out to be, but she's hardly innocent. She's usually depicted as passive and sweet. But let's not forget there's an undertone of stratagem in what she says. Passive-aggressive has been her catchphrase, and now it's getting more aggressive. With stakes growing, so does her tendency to draw lines in the sand. Alluding publicly to a core family at such a vulnerable moment, it's not only insensitive, it's incendiary. Let's not forget, this comes after unimaginable tragedy. Kody's alienation from many of his older children, particularly those he has with non-Robyn wives, is perhaps the saddest part of this tale. When Garrison died, he and Kody were not even on speaking terms, according to reports. That sorrow, that distance, is difficult to understand. In October of 2024, Gabriel Brown posed his dad a basic but heartbreaking question. What in the world is Robyn thinking? How must it feel to hear your father and his wife talk about themselves and their children as the core, when you, his own son, don't even speak to him, when you've lost a brother, when you're already hurting? It's not poor grammar, it's exclusion, it's neglect, and it makes a difference. Robyn can well be waiting for legal soap opera. Rumours that Janelle is hiring lawyers for Coyote Pass have tensions running higher than ever before, and in a possible court case, the sooner one draws battle lines, the better the chance for winning the media war. Core family is more than just a term, it's a strategy. This, however, is not a game. It's real people, real parents, real kids. And when parents lose sight of this, the innocent are the hardest hit. If Robyn and Kody really feel like family is what's important, they must demonstrate it. Not only to one another, but to all of Kody's children. The ones who aren't a part of the so-called core. The ones who still know what family used to be like. Because if the ex-wives are gearing up to go legal, the situation could turn ugly in a hurry. The shared dream of Coyote Pass is now a war zone, and the words of Robyn are like sparks against dry tinder. The question now is, will they hold on to the land, or will they sell it and at last achieve some closure? The words core family may seem innocuous enough, but in the Brown family it's a call to arms. Robyn and Kody appear to be closing ranks, guarding what they consider their inner circle, leaving Mary and Janelle in the chill, struggling with deep issues of fairness, family and economic survival. Not paranoia, it's a pattern. One that's been evolving for years, and now it's perilously close to boiling over. Let's get real. Robyn's no stranger to criticism. She's been called out on everything from manipulation to passive aggression. Fans have poked through the smiles, the crocodile tears, and the perfectly crafted lines. Most think she's not only surviving in this toxic dynamic, she's succeeding off the backs of others. Though she might not be the villain some paint her to be, Robyn is far from innocent herself. Her latest core family comments aren't merely tone-deaf, they're calculated. Perhaps she's laying the groundwork for some future court battle over Coyote Pass, and by determining who's in the core, she's quietly excluding everyone else, drawing the lines in the sand before even one person sets foot in a courtroom. That's not only hurtful, it's vicious, particularly if you look at the timing. Kody's relationship with his older kids, especially those he has with Janelle and Christine, has been strained for years. Some of those kids, such as Gabriel and the late Garrison, have said out loud how much it hurt to be abandoned. How agonizing must it be to be told by their father's wife that they are not considered part of the core family? In October 2024, Gabriel looked his father in the eye and asked, "What in the world is Robyn thinking?" And honestly, we're all still wondering. To grieve a brother while feeling like an outsider in your own family is a tragedy no child should endure. Yet this is the reality Robyn and Kody have created, one where love feels conditional and family is fractured along lines of favoritism. With the threat of a court battle hanging over her head and emotions at a boiling point, one gets the feeling that Robyn is hedging her bets. Her words sound like pieces on a chessboard, getting the public on her side, establishing herself as the rightful partner, and gaining control of her family's interest in Coyote Pass. This is no game. This is human lives, children, families whose relationships meant something once. Now, nothing but bargaining chips. Whether or not Kody and Robyn sell the property or retain it for themselves is of little matter now. What's certain is that the damage has been done. The family is destroyed, and unless things are done differently, unless everyone is treated fairly and with respect, there is perhaps no repairing it. For in the end, it's not all about Coyote Pass. It's about trust. It's about loss. And it's about a father who forgot that there is no core of love. There is supposed to be some shared with everyone. Mary Brown is no longer playing nice. In a strong monologue, she finally spoke her mind about what many fans have been wondering all these years. "I haven't pushed the issue on many things, but I will push the issue now. It is a clear indication that the gloves are off." Mary recognized what's become painfully clear in the Brown family situation. We all have different ideas about what should happen, but none of us are talking because there's no trust left. And she's not alone in that sentiment. In a recent interview, Janelle Brown voiced Mary's anger. With the land feud raging and Kody still marginalizing them, Janelle concurred. "I think it is time for somebody to be pushing my interests. I probably will get a lawyer. In fact, I've been talking to one." The problem at the center of all this anger, Coyote Pass. Mary accuses Kody of playing favorites, awarding more land to wives who bore more children. When Mary's closest friend, Jen Sullivan, delivered the news that Kody only intended to award Mary 2 acres, the betrayal stung. Mary pointed out that she has given back, financially and emotionally, for years. From putting the house on the market to paying for the kids' schooling, she has been a rock of the family. But all her sacrifice, and still she is left in the dark. Even after attempting to speak with Kody through email, she was given minimal insight. "I said I'm the right people," Mary explained angrily, "so I don't know exactly who he's talking to and what his plan is, but that's really all I know." And that doubt, it hurts. Then Mary fears Kody might attempt to sell the property without her awareness or permission. Meanwhile, Janelle has already begun building a new life. Tired of the drama and wanting to be near her daughter Maddie and grandchildren, she decided to leave. In 2023, she sold her interest in the property and moved to North Carolina, buying a beautiful 156-acre farm for less than $29,000, according to The Blast. Christine labelled Janelle's choice a no-brainer, a positive, empowering choice to put love, family and peace first. Kody naturally did not see it that way. Despite a fleeting moment of considering legal action, Janelle's failure to be legally married to Kody meant she could not stake a legal claim to the land. Still, Kody's threat didn't deter her. She opted for freedom instead of dysfunction, healing instead of history, and a future full of her people. As the dust keeps swirling around Coyote Pass, one thing is as clear as day. This family isn't just broken, it's something new. Mary's fighting for her rights, Christine's fighting for her happiness, Janelle's creating something new, and Cody and Robyn, they'll soon be more alone than ever, because when women take a stand, there's no turning back. While the battle over Coyote Pass rages on, not every Brown woman is standing still. Christine Brown, once the quiet third wife in Kody's plural marriage, is now rewriting her story and doing it on her terms. After more than 2 decades of raising 6 children in a polygamous household, she walked away in November 2021, choosing personal peace over collective chaos. And she didn't stroll, she sprinted toward a new life with David Woolley. Their love progressed rapidly. Christine dated David on a dating site in October 2022, and they were married by 2023. A monogamous relationship, a new residence, a fresh start. Some fans feared she was moving too quickly. Others suspected the fairy tale ending wouldn't last. When Christine shared a video recently, ring off, melancholy music playing, whispers of divorce flew like wildfire. But Christine was not slow to strike back. She wasn't concealing anguish, she was baking. In a cutting and witty clapback, Christine was quick to remind people that she's still married, very much so, and very much in love. The inquiring fan got a straightforward, direct answer. The ring was off because she didn't need it, not because she didn't want it. No drama, no scandal. Just a woman taking back her life and her happiness. More significantly, Christine's openness is evidence of growth. She's no longer merely a character in Kody's book. She's her own storyteller now, refusing to let trolls or tabloids rehash the truth of her carefully earned happiness. And whereas Christine is hard at work constructing something gorgeous, her ex-sister wives are left fighting to steal back what belongs to them. Mary Brown, specifically, has had enough playing nice. During a recent video call with Janelle, Mary did not pull any punches. Getting increasingly angry, she confronted Cody and Robyn's bid to sell the Coyote Pass house. She denounced his favoritism, reminding him, "You don't get to decide what we do with it. Sorry, you are not the head of my family." The era of passive forbearance is done. Mary's prepared to lawyer up. Decades of being belittled, pushed aside, and played emotionally have led Mary to this point of frustration. She's been understanding. She's attempted to make it work. But while Cody and Robyn behave like the royals of Coyote Pass, Mary is ready to overthrow the monarchy. For now, it's not about land. It's about respect. It's about fairness. It's about not allowing the people who've hurt you to get away with everything. The sister wives have evolved, the family is broken, and as Christine becomes more prominent and Mary pushes back, one thing is standing out increasingly. Kody Brown might have been the glue that held this family together, but today he's the cause of its breakdown.